from the left coast. It's a show for the streets, strictly for the culture, strictly for our people. YouTube the views, log on and stream. Some news you can use with your host Khrissy B. Get familiar, yeah. Get familiar. Get familiar. Get familiar. You gotta get familiar. Yeah.
I don't really do like any formal introductions on my show, but this is Get Familiar. I'm Khrissy. This is episode 19 with Hugh Augustine. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. So you caught my attention on Twitter.
Nice.
It was just your name was just popping up, and I really just kind of got put onto you.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm new.
That's cool.
I'm new to the movement. So when I saw your name popping up on my timeline on Twitter, you know, I was like, who is this guy? So I was automatically intrigued. I was intrigued by your face.
Yeah.
You just look, I won't say different. That doesn't come off right. But you just had an interesting look. But it was the hair. It was just the face. And I was like,
yeah.
you automatically caught my attention.
You're like, this guy looks so unique and I've never seen him before.
Like, so, okay, let me take it off top of like Samoan or something. Before I honestly tapped, but before I even tapped onto like when I got a full glance and did my Googles, I was like, no, he's black, right?
Yeah.
Are you mixed with anything?
I'm black.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that black people can't have like pretty curly hair, but you know, you just have like really dominant features that kind of just give off something else.
Yeah.
But I have curly hair too, and I'm just black.
You know?
Yeah, so that's good. We're just giving curly hair. So furthermore, I did my Googles. I went on your IG, and I was just automatically intrigued. I love your sound.
Thank you.
I see that you have so many things going on, so much versatility, which is dope. Because not only are you an artist, but you're a vegan chef, right?
Yeah.
Which is so dope. Okay, I want to tap into that too. We're just going to roll right into it.
Right.
For someone like myself, I do want to eventually become a vegan. Let me just kind of give you
It's a process.
It's a process, right? Okay, so my issues are I'm trying to get thick, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get thick, I'm trying to gain, and I'm trying to figure out how can I get thick and fatten up my butt, but being a vegan, right? So a lot
of big booty animals out there that don't eat meat.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I need you to walk me.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know, like.
Because I'm feeling like, what protein do you get?
We have a lot of misconceptions even about like what protein is or like what that word means, you know? Like when you talk about I don't think it's scientific, but when you break it down, like you need amino acids, right? Because that's what protein breaks down into in your body.
Okay.
So like you're looking for things that are high in that. You know what I'm saying? Like we all the time go to like, I need a steak, I need this, I need that, you know? But it's like those mushrooms got more protein than that steak. So does that broccoli. So does that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we just have a lot of breaking down that we need to do culturally about like our understanding of food and what we consume in general, you know what I'm saying? And like our outlook even on eating is like we're supposed to be eating for fuel,
right?
And to like get us to the next point. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like we have so much, there's a lot of trauma that's tied to our food, you know, there's like a lot of nostalgia that's tied to it, you know what I'm saying? So like you end up eating a lot of time for comfort and not for nutrition. So
that's true.
I don't know. That's a quick spiel.
Yeah, and I actually, Jada Pinkett said this too a while ago, and I actually kind of took heed to it. I kind of stopped eating for taste, and more so for, you know, the nurturing part.
Right.
Because I mean, it's not that you can't flavor up broccoli or asparagus or something like that, but I'm like, let me just input the right stuff rather.
What do you think would taste better, a raw piece of broccoli or a raw piece of chicken?
A raw piece of broccoli. Yeah.
All right.
That's a good one. That's a good comparison. Well, you got me on that one. Cause ain't nobody fucking with no raw chicken.
You never was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna flavor this thing with this chicken, right?
Yeah.
You like go and get all these seasonings that come from like, you know, plants.
So what was the turning point for you?
Stuff. It was just like a health decision. You know, like a few years ago, I went to the doctor. The doctor told me I had high cholesterol. I was 26. I'm like, how?
Right.
Is you know, like how
young with high cholesterol. Yeah.
You know? So then I went a year of just eating like chicken and fish, and I went back to the doctor, And I was like, I didn't change my whole everything. Like, I don't even eat hamburgers or nothing, you know?
Right.
I don't even eat tacos. And they're like, yeah, it's the same. Nothing changed. So I'm like, okay, I need to make a drastic change in my lifestyle, you know? Like, if I want to see a different result, I need to do something drastic.
Yeah.
You know? And then at that same time was around when Nick passed. And I went to his funeral, and his mom was at his funeral talking about, you know, we need to choose a vegan diet. We need to be drinking green juices and all this stuff. And I was just like, that was like a light bulb moment. And then that same weekend, I went to my friend's house for a barbecue, and I got sick from eating tacos and hamburgers and shit. So I was like, all right, like, this is like, there's too many signs lining up, and then my body is actually rejecting this stuff, you know, like my spirit is rejecting this stuff. So the next day I just was vegan.
Instantly?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, all right, let me figure out what I'm gonna do. I went to the grocery store, like got a week's worth of groceries, and just thought about all the stuff that I would want to eat, and I just started cooking for myself every day, you know? And then I found a couple of places that I like to eat to go out to. So then I just figured out like a routine, and then
Bam.
You know, it's been years now.
And you have a like your own. It's a business now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it grew into a business, like, and that was just by chance. Like, I didn't really plan on that happening.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, I was supposed to go on tour, and it got canceled. So I was like, all right, I'm just chilling. What am I gonna do? You know, I didn't really like have a plan. I was working on this album, but I kind of like, all my steam kind of like got taken out of the engine because my tour got shut down. You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know, what am I gonna do? And then my mom really motivated me to share my food because I was already cooking stuff, and you know, I'll make it for family here and there, whatever, and people, my friends. And they enjoyed it, so she was like, yeah, just put it out there, like, you know. And at first I didn't really want to put myself out there like that because I'm a rapper, you know,
right?
Like, and that's what I've been doing.
You didn't think it was gonna make sense to do it? Like, what was the kind of hesitancy?
It just was like, nigga, last week you was like, I'm going on tour,
right?
And this week you like, pull up, I'm selling plates.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a,
like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to do? Like,
And it's just like, for somebody like me, I've been rapping since I was in middle school, you know, recording. So it's like, my whole life I've been telling people that this is what I'm going to do with myself. Like, this is, like, you know, convincing my family. Like, everything. Like, every type of, like, struggle that you could think about going through as an independent artist, like, I went through it, you know, to get to, like, the point that I'm at. So then to go from doing all that, going on tour, whoop-de-whoop, to coming back and being like, I'm selling plates out of my house. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a...
I know where you're going with this,
So I was like hella scared to do it. And then my mom really pushed me. I like made a flyer, put it on my Instagram, and then it just kind of like snowballed.
That's dope. And I saw something. Are you doing something like monthly with the Regency, or are you gonna kind of like connect with them? I've been
cooking out of the Regency since last year.
Okay.
I rent their kitchen over there, and so like I just did my album release party there.
I wish I would have known about it. I kind of caught on late. This is me just jumping on the bag. 2 weeks late. I know, and it looked. I just dropped
my album and all that stuff.
Right in July, right? Yeah.
I dropped it on my birthday.
That's dope.
And so, I'm trying to just, you know, get activations going on over there. I want to do a monthly, like, supper club situation over there. That's, like, what the theme of my album release party was.
I saw that Hughes. What was it called? Hughes
Supper Club.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it was a dope vibe. So, you know, just building on the brand and, like, expanding the vision of, like, what the business could be. But also not getting tied to too many things. Still remaining flexible because it's like so much uncertainty still out here. So trying to jump into like one of the hardest businesses in the world, the restaurant business, at a time like this is just like, you gotta be careful.
And then you're you grew up, born and raised, Crenshaw District, Baldwin Hills, Lamar Park. Yeah. Give me some landmarks. Like exactly, like where'd you grow up? What streets?
First, I was living on 8th Avenue.
Okay.
In Vernon. So
that's crazy. My best friend grew right on the corner. She lives on, well, my friend Fallon, she grew up on 8th Avenue, Vernon also.
Yeah. So first I lived in there, then we moved to the Dons.
Okay.
So Don Felipe.
Yep.
And then from there, I moved to LeBron Coliseum.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely Baldwin Hills. So I'm also a Crenshaw District baby.
Yeah.
I went to Crenshaw, actually, all 4 years. Nice. Went to Crenshaw. Went to Overripe Middle School, and then I went to Crenshaw for all 4 years. Yeah. And I grew up in the neighborhood, still actually in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Love it over here. Also just trying to
find a spot over here.
It's expensive as fuck.
Yeah, I was looking for a while.
It's expensive as fuck, and it sucks because now it's really becoming gentrified, as you can see. Yeah. They are moving all the way in. I love Overhill, like just all of Overhill, like all those apartments. That whole street is just beautiful. But there's some pockets in Lamar Park.
Yeah.
It's hella stuff in Lamar.
That's my ideal place that I want to live.
Yeah. And I still like the culture and everything. Yeah, that's the whole aesthetics of Lamar.
That's my whole lifestyle. It's just hanging out in Lamar.
Yeah. I love it over there. And kind of going back to, I actually just recently had an event at the Regency, and I'm all actually just locked in.
So your event was the day after mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yours was on Saturday.
Friday night.
Oh, Friday night. Saturday, I was on Sunday.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was on Friday night.
Damn, we just crossed paths like that. Okay, well, you know what? I'm so late to the boat, but I'm glad we're having this discussion because I'm getting familiar with you.
Yeah.
You are now on my radar. We're going to stay in touch, stay in contact. So what school did you go to anyway?
High school? I went to Loyola High School. It's a private school.
Okay.
Do you know about it?
I don't. That sounds like...
It's an all-boys school.
Okay.
It's on Venice and Normandy.
Why you didn't stay local or community? Your mom didn't want... She wanted to move you or travel you outside of the community? Yeah. Different experiences.
My whole life, I didn't go to school in the neighborhood. Like, she was driving us hella far for elementary school. In middle school, I went to Parlier. So I rode the bus there.
Okay.
And then in high school, I went to private school.
Yeah. I think that's just kind of one of those things where your mom knew what was going on around. Yeah. And she just do you have any siblings or any brothers?
2 older brothers.
Yeah.
And they was on the same type of path.
Exactly.
My mom grew up very involved in the neighborhood and in the community, and so did her mom. So all the stuff that was happening around that time in the early 90s, she was very aware of what's going on. And even being one of those involved parents who knows what's up with the school districts and even how to make it work out so we could go to another school. She was just always on that educational trying to give us the best opportunity.
That's kind of good though, especially with males. I fear, especially to this day, I fear for our black men. I have a nephew, by the grace of God. He went to Crenshaw. He did not take to the streets. He didn't join a gang. He don't have no gang banging homies. He's surrounded by all women, and he does have a couple of male influences, but for the most part, he survived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't take to the streets, and he wasn't looking to go to the streets. And now he's off to UC Merced in a week. Awesome. And I'm just so fearful of everything that black men have to go through on a day-to-day. Especially in LA streets. And right now, it's so much going on.
About that too is the older I get, the more places I go. I always travel somewhere, and I'm I can stay here, but then I don't. I always come back.
Yeah.
But then I think about it and where I want to raise my kids and how would I want them to grow up and all that stuff. And it's is LA the best city for raising kids and having a family and that whole thing, And I go back and forth about that all the time, but at the same time, it's this is where my family is at, this is where my people is at. I actually know what's going on out here, where we have a network, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is our culture, this is our city, for real.
Exactly.
So, I feel I can never have it's not a love-hate relationship, but there are things that I dislike about LA.
Same.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's that type of stuff where it's why is it that if I live over here and you live over there, like we can't get along? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like so deep, you know. So like it's in our blood, you know?
Yeah. And even as a woman, my head is always on swivel.
Yeah.
I don't go out late at night. If we not making plans at a certain time, I'm not sitting in the car with you late. I'm getting my ass in the house. I'm not driving on the streets late. I don't go to certain gas stations. I know which ones to go to, which ones not to go to. Right. I don't stop in any unfamiliar areas or neighborhoods. And this is just as a woman also. Right. You know, I don't even.
And that's even something like that I have a privilege of not always having to think about. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'll pull up to places where it's like, this is probably not the best gas station right now, but like I could still hop out and get some gas. Like, and that might be a spot where you might not even stop at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or just like, I'm gonna go pull up over here to this function or whatever. Like, I know I'm gonna be straight, even though I'm out of bounds. Like, I know I'm gonna be straight, but it's like as a single woman going around places or whatever, like that's a whole nother dimension that I'm sometimes not even having to think about.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And even with kids, like I have a daughter, and I'm just. And not trying to toot my horn, but you know, sometimes they're like, "Hey, come here." I'm like, "I'm chilling. I got my kid. I just want to get in my car. I want to go."
Right,
you know, I'm going in the store, and you have to be very polite. You have to be very respectful. Even if you say, "I got a boy," they be tripping. I'm like, I'm just trying to go about my day. I'm not being disrespectful by not talking to you, but you have to let them know, like, "Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm busy. I gotta go."
Right.
And respectful, because they will come at you foul.
Very aggressive.
Yeah. Very, very aggressive. So as a woman too, we got to be on our P's and Q's.
Yeah.
We really do. But you dropped a project 100 years later.
Yeah.
I heard it. I loved it.
Thank you.
I sat with it, and I'm a huge fan of the 90s. To know me is to know that. Everybody knows I'm a huge hip hop. I'm a huge hip hop head. I love the 90s R&B and hip hop, and I felt like your album took me back to 90s hip hop.
That's awesome.
I compared it to like the instrumentations, the production, the beat on top of your flow and the way you were rapping. It just kind of took me back to that time in the 90s, or how music used to sound. And that
inspired by that era.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can really tell. And it just sounded very refreshing, because it sounds like Hugh is just doing Hugh. He was not trying to chase a sound. He's not following a sound. You're doing exactly you, what feels good to you. Your voice projection is so original.
Thank you.
And I love that.
Thank you.
You know, and unfortunately, we're just in a climate where I feel like a lot of artists are trying to get on. They're following each other, and they're like, okay, if this sound is hot, let me do this too.
Yeah.
You know, and back in the day,
don't get me wrong though, I have like all those other songs on my computer too. You know?
And that's okay. That's that versatility. Yeah. And there's nothing. And don't get me wrong, going on the record, I'm not knocking that.
Yeah.
But I personally like just originality.
That was like a big part of the thought process in making this album. Is like, I made so many songs. I recorded this shit for over like 2 years. And then I worked with all different producers from LA, and it's like right now LA's sound is only getting like this section is getting the spotlight, but it's like so broad, right? And so because of that, I have so many songs that sound like so many different things, and there was a lot of variety on the album, but there was certain songs that I made for the album that when I went back and I really like laid it out, I was like, you know, it's not time for this song right now. Or it's like, this isn't the social climate, or like all
being very strategic about it. Yeah.
And it's like so-and-so is going to drop something and they'll get that from them.
Right.
So they don't need to get that from me, because they need to get this from me, you know? Yeah, so it was like trying to be very intentional about the track list and the sound, and like what lyrics came out, you know what I mean? Like, did we hit all the points? Like, did we actually talk about what's going on? Like, the whole shit, you know?
Is there any significance behind the title?
There's a whole lot of significance behind the title. So my family's been in LA for 100 years.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like trying to speak about the city and like experience from that perspective of somebody that feels like responsibility, you know, and like purpose in not only making dope music, but like community building and like envisioning a future for the community. And so that's why my album cover is what it is. So what we did was we took my logo, you can see it right here on my chain.
Oh, that's fire. Yeah,
it spells my name out too, but it's a fist.
I see.
You feel me?
That's dope.
And so we took the Crenshaw Mall and we redesigned it to look like my logo.
Creative. Yeah,
and so the whole point of it was like, you know, we could sit here and we could complain kind of about like all the problems that we got, right? And we can keep like creating art that reflects those problems. And that's where I first went with my album cover design, because it was like a very literal translation of like the stuff that I'm talking about on my album. But then it's like, it could be a more powerful image to show like, all right, if we did get the $1 billion check or like whatever, right? Like what would you do with it? And it's like, this is what I would do with it. Like, if I could reimagine my environment, this is how it would look. You feel me? And like, we don't even realize how like oppressed we are when it's like we driving down the street and we're seeing all this architecture that's reinforcing our oppression. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's on a subconscious level that we don't even realize that part.
Yeah.
You know, we're dealing with like all the other shit.
Right.
Poverty, being hungry, being homeless, like we're dealing with that too. But then at the same time, like literally the landscape is a reinforcement of that white supremacy. Like, you know, like
it's changing right before our eyes, especially for somebody that's, I mean, I grew up right here and you're talking about a train going down Crenshaw.
Right.
You know, Crenshaw and Slauson don't even look the same anymore.
Yeah.
That intersection doesn't look the same anymore. Even a train running down Crenshaw. All the apartment buildings, even on the pockets, like y'all building luxury apartments off of Florence.
Yeah.
Y'all building luxury apartments off of Hyde Park.
Right.
You know, it's real different. It's different,
like
and it's changing right before our eyes.
Right, but it's changing without our consideration, right? And that's really the big issue, right? Is because we're the reason why people want to come here, right? We're the reason why LA is what it is. Like, we created the culture that made everything pop. If you go all the way back to black people coming to LA after the World War I, you feel me? Like in the 20s at the Cotton Club, like, and then you take it all the way from that to where we at right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to talk hip hop, like West Coast hip hop influenced the whole world. Like, you got African niggas is rapping Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Like, it's reaching the whole globe. You feel me? Like, when I go to Europe and people find out that I'm from LA, they automatically fucking with it. They see the style. They, you know,
they love us. They love us. Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like, we do all this stuff culturally, right? That has all this influence that influences every different market, right? It influences the economy. It influences how people think creatively in the scientific world. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about innovating technology, all that stuff, design, you feel me? But we don't get considered when it comes to infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what I'm talking about with the album cover, you feel me? And I really wanted the album to like be able to have different messages throughout, because it's like certain stuff I can't articulate the whole message on the album, you know? It's like, I wanted to articulate some of the message with the imagery. I wanted to articulate some of the message with the videos.
Do you feel like you 100% delivered your messages?
I feel like it's always going to be a work in progress.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always going to look back at this album and be like, shit, I should have done this, I should have done that. Like, just being critical about my own work.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's how I've always been about my shit. But I also think that's a reason why I keep making more music and doing more art and more projects, is because like I'm always gonna feel like it's not like complete, you know? Yeah, but that's also a reason why sometimes it takes me so long to put some shit out, because it's like, it's not done. It's not done. I want it to be perfect, but sometimes people need to hear that shit. You gotta just
right in the moment. Yeah, it's gonna impact it right now.
Do your best, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's gonna impact right now.
We wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't put it out.
Right.
You feel me?
That's real.
The shit was dope as fuck on my hard drive, but if nobody hears it, then it's like we not having this conversation,
right?
You know, and it's like I'm having all these thoughts in my private time. In the studio, I'm thinking about the stuff we're talking about right now and trying to put it into the song. So it's like you got to put the song out so we can start the conversation.
Yeah. Do you have any other like hidden talents? I feel like you do. I feel like there's so much to you that we just don't know.
Hidden talents.
I don't hidden talents.
I got a hidden talent. It's more like a clairvoyant thing.
Okay.
Like I could be in the house.
Elaborate.
I could be in my house, right? And I'll be like, I need a pen. And then I'll just get up and I'll go to a place and there'll be a pen there. You feel me? But I don't know it's there.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay. Give me another scenario.
Another scenario?
Yeah.
I could be like, okay, here's like when I'm traveling, right?
Okay.
Like I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just like having a good time. And I'm like, I can't get lost because I'm already 3,000 miles away from home.
Okay.
So I'll be like, I need to go to get some food, or I need to go get some weed. And it's like, boom, nigga, here's the weed spot, or here's the nigga.
You running right into it.
I'm running right into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then if I'm questioning,
so it's almost like a manifestation. It's kind of almost like you're projecting it in your brain. Yeah. Okay, that's a spiritual thing.
That's my hidden talent.
That's spiritual.
That's like my
that's deep.
superpower.
Now that's super deep.
That's my superpower.
Yeah, that's deep. Because everybody ain't connected like that.
Yeah.
That's super deep. Yeah, I just feel like there's so much about you that the world needs to discover and unravel. And I can tell you're very, very like intellectual. You're well spoken. You know, I'm really excited that we're here because also I want to tap into get a little bit more about your background. I did tap into another interview where you were shot when you were 21 years old, right?
Yeah, when I was 20.
Oh, 20.
About to turn 21.
Okay. Yeah. And I kind of wanted to talk about that experience only because this is kind of going back to my fear for black men and the things that you guys have to go through, and how did your life change from that experience? Like, that's traumatic. By the grace of God, you're here. You're walking. You're able. You know, you're fully functioning.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to talk about that experience and how you move differently now from being shot.
I feel like 50 Cent. You know,
it's not funny, but
really?
Bro,
I'm like,
I didn't want to laugh, but
I'm just making light.
Yeah,
but for real, like, I feel like my life changed so drastically from that moment, and it was like, if I was like going through life with like a veil, you know, like it was lifted in that moment, like whatever like wasn't true, like revealed itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, the people that you think are your friends, or the people that you think are your family, or like whatever your reality is, like it changes from that moment.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like you really see like who's really for you, who really got your back, who's really gonna hold you down, who's really gonna like be considerate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It alters like your whole reality. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like a long process. It's still a healing process.
I was going to say, do you still feel affected by it? Is your functioning, your body changed?
I have chronic pain from it.
Chronic pain. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you don't know what chronic pain means, that means it don't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I smoke a lot of weed.
Okay. Yeah. At least you're doing it the holistic way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and not popping pills.
Like when I first got out the hospital, they was prescribing me, and I was taking them, and then it was like,
that's an addiction, though.
You feel me? After like a month or two of taking pills, you don't even realize that like your body is becoming like dependent, you know,
and kind of immune to it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or it's like you're taking it on a schedule, so it's like you get into this like mindset of like it being like a part of like something that you need to get through your
Absolutely.
day. You know, it's like you wake up, you have breakfast, you take your medicine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lunch, you take your medicine. You go to sleep, whoop-de-whoop, you do it. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, being vegan, I feel like even is like a manifestation of like just trying to become like more natural with like my healing process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, smoking a lot of weed has definitely got me through it. You know?
I'm trying to become. I have anxiety, so people like go to weed, but I don't really know where to start with weed. I be feeling like I'm the weed smoker that starts tweaking and shit. Like I'm a tweaker, like not a tweaker. That's the worst. Not a tweaker. Like I'm on crack or something. But it's just
it goes to your brain.
It don't fuck with my body. I'm just trying to. Y'all have to help me out with the right, like I don't know, potency or something with it.
Weed, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I've been told that, but I haven't found the right one because I'm like paranoid as fuck.
Yeah.
But I want to hit it. I want to, but I want to try it.
Eat it, or like there's different ways.
Yeah,
you know.
That's I did the CBD, and that's cool. But I be needing something to kind of help with this anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, and I also like try to do the natural. Like I do like my chamomile and lavender teas and the Calm app and what is it called?
Ashwagandha.
What is that?
Something to help you with to relax.
Oh, put me on because I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, please. Yeah, let me know.
Napoli Naturals. You know about that place in Leimert Park?
It's called what?
Napoli Naturals.
It's in the Strip.
Yeah.
Or in the Village.
Right next to the neighbor's skate shop.
Yeah. I see it all the time, but never gone inside. Never been inside.
All the herbs, you feel me? They got all the natural products. You can go.
And that helps with anxiety.
You can go up in there and you can tell them, I'm having problems with anxiety. I'm having trouble sleeping. Whoop de whoop. They gonna put you a little herb mix together.
Yes, that's what I need.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I need. I'm going to actually head over there today.
Yeah, get you a natural remedy.
Yeah, I'm going to do that ASAP. Yeah. But that also just comes with balance. Yeah. In my life, and I'm getting there. With
like
work.
We're all just trying to come up with like our own personal lives.
Absolutely.
And then you got the weight of like what's actually going on in the world. You feel me? And it's like trying to like make sense of that, and then your own personal life. It's like a lot right now.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
it is.
It's like, I don't know. Don't feel too like pressed. Like I don't know. With my shit, like I don't really make too many plans. I just kind of like go with the flow and like let shit happen. Like
don't overwhelm yourself.
Don't be trying to force shit either. Like I feel like a lot of stress in my life has come from trying to force things. You feel me? Because I thought that was like what I thought. I thought that was what I thought I was supposed to want. And the reality was like all the stuff that I was just like doing naturally, like doing things that make me happy or like to feel good.
Yeah.
Like those always became the things that was the most successful. Like with my food business, that wasn't something that I sought out to be like, I'm about to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to be out here flipping shit. I'm about to be
right.
out here, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Get on. I'm about to make this brand. It was like, nah.
Do you have a food truck or anything like that? How can I?
Right now,
if I want a plate, like how do I order a plate?
Pop-ups. I was doing a weekly situation.
Okay.
But I just been doing like more catering and stuff.
Okay, so we can't necessarily like order anything like a la carte now. Okay.
I'm working on getting my own like restaurant kitchen space so that I can be doing like to-goes and delivery situations.
I think you'd be very successful at it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, so even like a little small food truck or something.
That's gonna be the next phase. But it's also just like building my business out. Like a lot of people thought I had this business idea for a long time, and it's like when I came up with it, everybody else found out about it too.
Yeah.
Like I put it out right away.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like the first week that I made a sample, nigga, that shit got sold. So it's like
it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be.
I got all this press and like all this stuff happening because of the business, but I'm also just like rolling with it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like just trying to be strategic about my moves. Like
love it.
Not trying to go too like heavy on like the investment. Like I'm just flipping my money, like putting it back in what I'm making, and just like keeping it rolling like that until I really decide like, all right, this is the final.
Dope.
This is the version.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else that you're working on right now that we could kind of expect before the end of the year? I'm sure.
I'm working on music videos.
Nice.
Doing more food pop-ups, dropping merch, doing shows. I got a show this week.
Okay. Where's that show?
It's gonna be at the Regent.
Okay.
Downtown.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to pull up. Any food gonna be there?
No.
Okay. I just think you was giving like a 2-in-1, like some bars and a plate.
Yeah. No,
okay.
I'm just gonna be dropping some bars.
Okay. Any is it and friends or?
Oh, at the show? No, I'm performing at it's not like a showcase, but it's like a show. There's like
Dope.
people,
Okay.
Georgia and Muldrow is also
Nice.
performing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a vibe.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you again for sitting with me. I feel like we got well acquainted.
Yeah, we did.
I want to stay in touch, of course. How do we keep in touch with you? Like, drop all your social handles. Where can we find you? You can Google them. You got your Googles up. Yeah, your Googles are up. The Googles are up.
There's a lot of stuff on Google.
Yeah, the Googles are up.
Just don't scroll all the way. Like, once you start getting down there, you start getting like older stuff.
Yeah, you go back like 10 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of content.
I see some content from like 2011, 2012. Yeah.
Yeah, still in Lamert too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can get me on Instagram, Hugh Augustine MC. On Twitter, they locked me out of my other Twitter account. I had to make a new Twitter account.
You must have been talking some shit on there that you wasn't supposed to be talking.
I was
yeah,
talking
Twitter's
shit to
yeah. And you got blocked?
Yeah, cause he gonna shoot Meg, and then I'm like, nigga, you a bitch.
Oh Lord, they blocked you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, how you shoot a black woman and I get blocked? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't. You know they not fucking with him across the board. So anything his name is tied to, he's just cut off. They couldn't anything or anybody they feel like may be associated with.
You can't even call nobody a bitch no more.
You can't.
Yeah.
And the Twitter community is sensitive as fuck.
Yeah, just the internet.
Internet in general. Yeah, that's why I tried to take a little break from it. But you know, take a break, come back. Anywho, thanks again for joining me. Before we close out though, today our recording day, we are celebrating Nipsey's birthday.
That's why we got these.
We got the blue cups. Cheers.
Know why I wore this.
I gave you some H2O in your cup. That's okay. I have so many just great memories of Nip.
Me too.
And he's missed. He plays such a huge role in the LA culture. You know, he was a prophet, he was a king, just an amazing man, and we're gonna always celebrate him. We're gonna always remember him. His memory legacy will never die. I think us as LA, we go so hard for Nipsey. Yeah. And I just want to, he would have been 36 today, 2 years since his passing, and we just got to give a shout out to Neighborhood Nip, whose spirit is still with us.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, everything.
Thank you for inspiring me. I mean, the first time I met Nipsey was in my high school parking lot in 2008, right when he got out of jail. He was passing his CDs out. And from then on, I was a fan.
Absolutely.
And then I met him.
My memories are the same.
Times, you know what I'm saying? Throughout the city. Got to go to his studio one time. So he's a big influence on me in my life and all my peoples. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just hoping to be somebody that can, like, take that motivation and, take it to another level.
You're on the right path. The marathon continues.
Facts.
And we're out. Peace.
Left Coast, it's a show for the streets, strictly for the culture, strictly for our people. YouTube reviews, log on and stream. Some news you can use with your host Khrissy B. Get familiar, yeah, get familiar.